picture this. At the beginning of summer, I had plans. I thought things were gonna go a certain way. I had books I wanted to read. I was excited. I had vacations planned and people to see and whatever. And um, this summer was the most chaotic, havoc-wreaking summer of my entire life. None of what I wanted to happen happened, but I think everything that needed to happen happened. And because everything has happened and I haven't gotten around to reading all the things that I wanted to read, I said, you know what? We're going to take 24 hours, give or take. Most likely I'm gonna have to add those 24 hours up because life. I mean, I cannot pretend that I don't sleep or eat or interact with humans, although I kind of do. And we're gonna be reading 3 books by a guy that is very, very well known that I haven't gotten around to reading, and that is Murakami. Have I been avoiding reading this? Absolutely. Why? Irrational fear. I don't know. Don't ask me. I couldn't possibly tell you. But 24 hours, I'm gonna give you my 2 cents on every single one of them and the writing style and how I feel about it, very subjectively, of course. And I hope you enjoy it and it gives you an idea of, is this a thing? Or maybe I even find something that I enjoy or avoid. We're gonna see. We're gonna see. Anyhow, let's get into the video. Hope you're all right. And grab a snack, sit, and enjoy. I have accidentally matched my ring. Green, green, green. We're gonna start a little bit backwards with the conclusion, so you can just get exactly what you need out of the video, or you can keep watching if you feel like it. Basically, I'm gonna take you through each book individually, whether it's a yes or a no for me, and why I graded it that way. I'm also going to talk a little bit about the reading process without getting into too much detail, and I'm gonna let you know how long each book took me. But I have to say, for the whole 3 books, I did spend 1 week, unfortunately. It's a timing sort of thing. However, realistically, I think it added up to about 25 hours of reading, if I'm not mistaken. Simply because of this bad boy. But I will get into that later. So let's get on with the individual commentaries. Right, so going in order of how I read them, we're gonna start with Norwegian Wood. This is a hard no for me. I'm sorry to genuinely anybody that enjoys this book. I cannot get by it. I cannot. I'm sorry. It's too much for me. I'm way too uncomfortable reading this. I always knew that there was this discussion of how Murakami portrays women, and I just have to say, this was supposed to be a coming-of-age love story of sorts, which it was. It was. I cannot deny that. But I think this book is erotic to a fault, and I would never say that in a billion years. But truly, I think it's too much. I'm not a person that knocks taboo in books. I just think that this was done sometimes in bad taste and for no good reason. I think it just irritates me and pisses me off. The fact that there are some paragraphs, some subjects that are touched on, death, mental illness, so many things. And then you go to these unnecessary intimacy moments that are just taking away from the quality of the plot. They're not there for any other reason than to be there. And it's just some inappropriate, genuinely Freudian situations that I am thoroughly uncomfortable with, especially knowing that the author himself believes that this is what a woman should be like, and I mean, should be like. It's his portrayal. He's not putting himself in the mind of a 19-year-old boy as in this book. It's just the way that he thinks. And to have those scenes in your head concerns me, basically. So hard no for me. Sorry. I apologize, but it's not something I would ever reread. Only if you pay me. Forgot to mention this was read in about 4 hours at most. Maybe around 5, could be around that lane of things, but no. 4 hours of waste in my books. On to this unexpected showstopper, Colorless Tsukuru Tazaki and His Years of Pilgramage. I did not expect to love this. I have not seen this in any recommendations anywhere. I didn't see people promoting it. I didn't really see people commenting it enough, at least. And so I went into it with no expectations whatsoever. And I loved it. I think it was the lightest read out of all of them when it came to how I felt, on the inside. I really love this idea behind the book of a guy that has this really tight-knit friend group when he was younger, and then all of a sudden they stop talking to him, these friends of his. All of their names are based on colors, because their last names have colors in them, except for him. Such a beautiful little metaphor right there. And he spends years not talking to them, detaching from the situation, and then he gets into a relationship, and the lady that he's dating suggests that he goes on this journey of discovering what happened all those years ago and why his friends stopped talking to him. And it's such a beautiful story. Did it also have some moments where I felt like it was unnecessarily descriptive and weird about females? Yeah. But it was way too little in comparison to that one. This one, I can get by. Even though they were unnecessary, I would read it again. I do recommend it. It's a yes. Took me around 4 hours and a half, I think. Onto this bad boy. It's really popular, and I didn't think I was going to say this, but it's really popular for good reason. I really love this, so from the get-go, it's a yes, for sure. I would definitely reread this, especially because I feel like it's so complex that I don't even feel like the first time around reading all these 500 pages, I fully grasped everything. It took me around 11 hours to read, if not a bit more. So when I estimated 25 hours, just so you know, it was a bit curved. I don't know. It's around that specific amount of time, but I just love the, as I said, complexity, the plot, the alternation between perspectives from this 15-year-old boy with a very Greek mythology prophecy going on in his life that he doesn't want to happen, and this older man that talks to cats. And I mean, without getting too much into it, their journeys are crazy. At some point they intertwine. There's discussions of death, shame, so many things. And there's also some inserts that I've actually written down on a post-it note right there. It's got these really beautiful quotes. It's crazy. It's a crazy book to read. The one mention I do have is I do think this is a book that you should read in a time in your life that is a bit less crazy. Because I read this right now in my first week of my last year of university, and it's just a lot if you're not present fully. Which is why I'm saying I really loved it, but I think I should read it again. I would read it again. It's insane to me. I really loved it. I don't know what else to say. Thank you, dude, for this. I don't have the words. I don't have the words. It was great. It was genuinely great. Now, theoretically, the individual part is over, and I can tell you the very broad statement that I do think Murakami is definitely worth giving a shot in general to read just to have an impression of things. I did find a lot of things that I really enjoyed. I think he touches on many deep subjects and he does so pretty masterfully. I would definitely change some stuff, but I think it's definitely worth giving it a try and a read. And if you want to keep watching the rest of the video for some more footage from in the past when I actually read the books as I went. Or if not, then I'm just gonna say thank you for watching so much, and I hope it was somewhat helpful without getting into any kind of spoilers just yet. And I hope you find some really freaking good books to read. Don't say anything. I know we were meant to be together. We were meant to be together. It's fate. I'm gonna stop. Thank you. Hello? Okay, so please just be concise, just get it together. It's about 10 at night, and I've still got, I think, this much left out of the book. I'm on page 304. And am I kind of enjoying the book? I would say it's okay, it's not necessarily my thing per se, but it's okay in terms of plot. It's something. Am I enjoying some descriptions? Yes. Am I having absolute difficulty with some passages? Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Mm-hmm. Uh, I was very aware of the portrayal of women that Murakami has, but I didn't experience it myself, and I'm not particularly appreciating it. I do have a huge observation on the writing style, at least on my part. You can tell me if I'm wrong, you can tell me if you feel otherwise. I feel like Murakami loves to play into this idea of opposites and black and white, almost stereotypical, especially when it comes to women. I see that contrast repeating itself in smaller instances, like in the beginning, you have the filth of, I don't know, a space, and then of the communal space, I guess, where the character lives, and then the room where he stays, which is really clean and sanitary. I don't mind this interplay, but when it comes to people, I just feel like that's no. I want to tap out. I want to tap out. I'm sorry. Right, so this is my first proper update on how the second book is going. Um, I am enjoying it a lot more than the first one. Sorry to the first one. She can lay where she rested. Um, I think the themes mentioned in this one are a lot lighter. I still pretty much appreciate the same things. I love the pacing, I love the descriptions, I love the atmosphere. I'm really enjoying some metaphors here and there. It's great. I like where it's going. The one piece of criticism that I continue to have is, once again, there is an unnecessary amount, at least in my opinion, of sexual talk. I decided to actually keep to just snippets of commentary for the rest of the books, but for the last one to actually show you what my reading process usually is, which is just pacing and sitting around and then pacing some more and then sitting around and then dystopic in a way, and so out of my plane of imagination, at least what I would have imagined would be in a fantasy book. I feel like it's really complex and all over the place. And then yet again, I like that. Still don't like how women are approached. I love the idea of a prophecy, fate, all those talks. It's so interesting. And then there's some quotes that I really liked. Yeah, I think it's the kind of book you have to read up until the end to really make up your mind. Which, I mean, should be for every book, but I can't tell you how I feel. Did you sign up for a second outro? Theoretically, you did when you started to watch the rest of the video, so I just wanted to say thank you again for continuing to watch, and I'm hoping you're having a really great time whenever you're watching this and you enjoyed this video. I'm sorry I haven't really uploaded in a while. I know it's not ideal. I could keep coming up with excuses that I've given myself, but once again, we're going to try to be more consistent. Sorry. And I cannot wait to see you in the next video with some fresh books and fresh ideas and preferably a less cluttered head.